Hey guys, this is gonna be just a very short video. I just wanted to touch upon something. In the last video, I spoke about in the spell database, there is a variable when you're creating a spell called type, and I just wanted to give a little example of how that could be effectively used. Just a very quick one. You remember when we were casting our healing spell, we created a sort of a second chain of functions to do with SelfCast. But one way we could avoid having all this extra is what we could do instead. I'm just gonna get rid of this. Is we could create a branch right here. And what we would do is just very simply I create a branch, and this branch is gonna check for one thing. We're gonna check that if a school of a spell is equal to enum, and sorry, not school, type of the spell, and we're gonna check for an enum, and we're gonna check if it's a healing spell. And if it indeed is a healing spell, we're gonna call an alternative cast function. You just copy cast function, and indeed if it's a healing spell, all we're gonna do is just set the target to self, and then have everything exactly the same as it's with our first cast function, as in the caster rotation and so on. And of course the target needs to be spell system. I'm just gonna bring the variable over here so I don't have wires dragging across the entire blueprint. And that's it. Just gonna check if the spell is a healing, and if it's a healing, just gonna use self as a target, you can see. And if it's not a healing spell, we're just gonna proceed normally. You could specify your own custom target if you have a targeting system or such. And then all we're gonna do is just we're just gonna go to a branch here. And actually what I'm gonna do is create a second branch here as well, just so we can get this success. And of course this is gonna be what we could do actually here instead of doing this is we could just have a switch. Sorry, select, which is it works as like a switch. Basically, what we would do is, if the spell was healing, and if we had the self-cast set, then if it's a true, we want to use the success variable of the cast function, which has a self as a target. If it's a false, we want to use the success variable of the normal cast function, which does not have self as a target. And we want to do exactly the same thing for spell struct. So if it's a true, we want to use the spell from this cast function. If it's a false, we want to use the other one. And we're using the check healing node here. And this is a way how you could effectively use the type of a spell. For example, in this way, every healing spell will automatically be self-cast, while other types of spells would be cast normally. And that's one way of avoid having another event to trigger self-cast, if that is something you want to do. And yeah, also I've returned the add spell for the first spell, which was the damaging spell, and I just want to show that indeed the spell selection works properly. You can see if I cast normally, it casts the first spell, and if I select my second spell, then indeed you can see that it does heal me, and I can switch between the spells correctly. And Yeah, that's pretty much it for this very short tutorial. There will be a coming up tutorial on how to deal with damage over time and healing over time. Thanks for watching. Bye.